or video, you can go to my YouTube page and you can catch that off my website at drrosemoulton.com. So today's affirmation, guys, today's affirmation is, the quieter I become, the more I can hear. The quieter I become, the more I can hear. We see someone joining us from New Jersey. Good morning to you guys. So what does celebrities such as Will Smith, Oprah Winfrey, Ellen DeGeneres, I know I put Russell Simmons, Soledad O'Brien, Robin Roberts, all of the Beatles, 50 Cent, LeBron James, and the list goes on and on. What do these people have in common? All of these people share that they meditate, and they meditate regularly. And they credit their ability to be successful in so many different areas in their life to the fact that they use meditation as a tool. And I'm just going to give you guys just some different quotes from some of these individuals. So like in 2009, Paul McCartney and the Beatles started meditating once they really became famous. So many years ago, before a lot of us were even born. But he said in moments of madness, meditation has helped him find moments of serenity. Some of you guys may remember the Oprah show where she told Dr. Oz that encouraging everyone at her business, her office, to meditate had benefited the company immensely. And I think this was during that time that the network was really struggling. And I remember seeing stories about her traveling to India to learn to meditate. Luckily, we don't have to do that. But she found it so beneficial. She encouraged all of her staff to do it. And we know that that company really did turn around. There are a lot of Fortune 500 CEOs that credit meditation to their ability to be successful in life. So let's talk about just what meditation is, why it's beneficial, and why you should be doing it, and how you can do it. So there was a 2009 study by Transcendental Meditation that showed meditation is good at alleviating stress. Okay, we know that. But it also, especially Transcendental Meditation, it's the only meditation, and all meditations are beneficial, but this has had studies to show that it's been adopted and it's been accredited by and accredited is not the right word, but the American Heart Association actually promotes Transcendental Meditation because it's been shown to have very positive effects on helping to control, prevent, and even alleviate heart disease, lower blood pressure, help with anxiety, depression, anger. And the habit of meditation, fortunately, is one of the most powerful things you can learn. And we all of you on the call, all of you on Periscope here, we have everything we need within us right now to meditate. Everything we need. If you're breathing, you can meditate. And I can pretty much bet the house on everybody on the call and Periscope is breathing. So we can meditate. And we're going to talk about how that's done and why you should do it. So like I said, it relieves stress. It helps you to relax. Meditation is a kind of mindfulness. Helps you to savor life, even change your habits, change habits that you want to change. Now, I'll share even my personal experience with meditation. Those of you who have my book, Bloom Here, you know, chapter 6 is stillness. And in that chapter, I discuss meditation. And we've all heard the saying that we teach what we most need to learn. If you guys follow me on social media, you know me personally, you know it seems that I'm always on the go. And people will ask, you know, how do you do it? You know, you must drink a lot of coffee during the day, or you must pass out at night, or what have you. I don't drink coffee. I went through 11 years of school in college without having a cup of coffee. I don't drink coffee now. I credit a lot of just the energy and the stamina that I have in meditation by practicing meditation and stillness. My personal experience with meditation and the way I like to look at it, because everybody has their way of looking at it. And there was a particular quote I want to share here with you guys because I can so relate to it. And I think it was from Steve Jobs. Yeah, Apple founder Steve Jobs. He discussed meditation in his biography. And he says, if you just sit and observe, you will see how restless your mind is. All of us can relate to that. Think about when you woke up this morning, how your mind was probably racing, everything you had to do. So if you try to calm it, it only makes it worse. But over time, it does calm. And when it does, there's room to hear more subtle things That's when your intuition starts to blossom and you start to see things more clearly. So I want to talk about even the benefit of intuition when you meditate. So for me personally, like I said, I started meditating years ago, and in the beginning, like all of us, and this is the reason why so many of us quit. And I want you guys to hear this, because a lot of my patients and my clients, they'll say, I can't meditate. Everyone can meditate. The problem is that we have this misconception that in order to meditate, we have to shut off our mind. We can't think. And that's impossible. This mind is always going. So if you get rid of that erroneous belief and that myth about meditation, you take the pressure off of yourself. You're going to have thoughts that come in. The key is the more that you do it, the more your mind gets used to quieting itself. It's just like learning anything new. Like when you learn to ride a bike, it seems very mechanical and not natural at first because there's so many things you're trying to do at once. But the more and more you do it, the more second nature it becomes, the more natural it becomes. You start to sustain a practice and you will start seeing the benefit. And the benefit, guys, is just immense. So I kind of look at it, and I've shared this with people before. Meditation for me is like going into a state where I shut down. So like shutting down your computer. I shut down, and for me, it's almost like I shut down and then I go to my creator, my omnipotent power source. Many people call them their God, their Lord, whatever that source, your universe, whatever works for you. But for me, it's like shutting down and my spirit going to my power source and getting recharged, coming back, and I'm ready to take on the day. And I know that sounds silly, but for me, that's what I could be, just totally maybe exhausted from a long day. And if I sit in meditation for 10-15 minutes, it's as if I've had a nap, probably a 2-hour nap. And many people who practice meditation says that. I was even watching some videos online preparing for this, and I saw LeBron James. They show a video of him when he'd be on the sidelines at a game, and he'd close his eyes and go into a meditative state just to shut everything out. And it's possible to do that. There are people who close their eyes through their transit, not driving, of course, but like on the subway, or if they take some public transformation, they'll meditate during that time, because over time you learn to shut everything off, but it comes with practice. And the intuitive part, the intuition part, I will share this with you guys too. There's been times, and it happens more often than not, when I meditate, it gives me answers that I may have been searching for, and that may not have even been my goal. My goal to meditate is shut down the mind. But when we shut down the mind, as the affirmation says today, the more we hear. So all these messages that we're attempting to get to me during this very busy day and life that we all have are able to get to me. And it's like I come up with ideals. I come up with even material to share with you guys. A lot of the social media statuses that I put up are gained during a meditative state. Once I was in session with a client, and it was a new client. I'd never seen her before. She called and set an appointment. She had just lost her mother and was very devastated and wanted to have some counseling to help deal with that. And I had a few minutes before her session, before she was scheduled to arrive. And so I went into a meditative state. And during that meditation, a name came to me. And there was something just telling me, this is the name of her mother. And when the young lady came into the office and was sharing just the experience of losing her mother just a few weeks ago, I said, what was your mother's name? And sure enough, I kid you guys not, the name that was given to me during meditation was her mother's name. And so the intuition, the way that it builds your intuition, your ability to just know things. So a lot of us who are out there filled with so much anxiety throughout the day and what's going to happen and what direction should I take, if you start meditating, a lot of this becomes so much simpler for you. There's a saying that says to go up, you have to go down. And I want to explain that to you. For meditation, the whole point of meditation is to take you to a higher conscious state. For me, the word consciousness equates to God. To me, the word consciousness means that's the highest level of awareness you can have. And so meditation, in order to go up in that level of consciousness, we have to go down in our physical state, in our physiological state. So what meditation does, it lowers our breathing, it lowers even our pulse rate, it lowers our blood pressure, it lowers all those human factors that we have that gets in the way of our spiritual experience. And if that's not enough to convince you to start doing it, I don't know what is. So again, it provides greater inner calm throughout the day. It reduces your cortisol, the stress hormone level. It normalizes your blood pressure. I was having an issue several years ago. High blood pressure runs in my family. Both my parents had strokes. And that's something that definitely I don't want to fall victim to. And I started meditating in addition to my exercise and other things, and the blood pressure completely normalized. And I'm not on any medication at all, but it's just a way of really lowering those physiological states. So normalizing blood pressure. Those of you who have problems sleeping, I hear a lot of people and see a lot of social media statuses that talks about insomnia and difficulty sleeping. Meditation is so excellent in helping to control that. I don't have an issue with sleeping, or if I do, I know if I go in this meditative state, like I said, and practice it, and it becomes a practice, that it really, really just even improves your sleep state. It lowers the risk of heart attack and stroke, reduces anxiety and depression. We're in a society where so many people are on medications for these things. And I had a client yesterday where I'm trying to convince them to get rid of or stop using a substance that they've become dependent on, and suggested trying meditation. And, people are skeptical at first, but it's so much research for people who've had substance abuse issues, and they're practicing and using it in a lot of different settings for veterans with post-traumatic stress disorder, for people with substance abuse and things of that sort. Just so much you can learn. So how do you meditate? How do you meditate? You do it the way that works for you. So I want you, again, the most important thing I want you to take away from this today, in addition to all the benefits of meditation, is that be easy on yourself. Get rid of the notion that you can't meditate, because you can. Like I said, if you can breathe, you can meditate. If you can breathe, you can meditate. So you just want to establish a practice, a daily practice, a daily sitting practice. So it may start out with you just every day committing that you're going to sit still for a few minutes and close your eyes. Okay, or focus on something. Everybody's not comfortable closing their eyes, but eventually I would like for you to get to that point. So you want to just get your body used to being still. How many of us can't sit still? How many of us just have to be in perpetual motion? And again, that's just that anxiety that lots of time takes over us, or that's that belief system that we have that in order to be productive in life, we have to always be moving. But again, meditation just is a paradox, because in order for you to reach those things that you want to reach, the goals and just the calm state, you have to be still and allow it to happen. So establish a daily sitting practice. Plan the time. I would prefer morning. I always prefer morning as the opportune time to do it, because before you get caught up in the busyness of the day, you kind of just take time for yourself, and you kind of fortify yourself and inoculate yourself against a lot of the stresses that are going to come at you during the day when you meditate. There's no perfect place or time, but you find what works for you. And if you guys need more clarification in regards to this, please, throughout the week, ask questions. Go on the social media, message me, ask questions about this, and I will be even more detailed. But in the essence of time, I want to keep going. So again, choose a space, but it's no perfect space. And you want silence. Silence is healing. It's healing. And I know there's a lot of meditation music around, and I'll be honest with you guys, when I first started meditating, I would use guided meditation tapes, or I would use music. But stillness is best, and quietness is best, because it gets you out of that habit of having to have that some external sound to get you there. But if for you to get started and just get your body, used to kind of just being still, if you need to start with some type of very meditative music, then go for it. And then after time, when you become more consistent with that, try silence. Because music or sounds can just add chatter to your mind at time. And there's a steadiness and calmness that comes from sitting in silence and stillness. Choose a duration of time. with TM, I was trained in transcendental meditation. So we do 20, those individuals who practice TM do 20 minutes a day, twice a day. And I'll be honest, I'm not always on top of getting both times in, but that's the ideal and aspirational time that we want to do, at least 20 minutes. But I don't want any of you guys throwing your hands up and saying, I'm not going to do that because that's too much of a commitment. So if you can just start with 2 minutes and then build it up to 5 minutes, just do it. Just do it. You guys know that's one of my favorite sayings there. Just do it and try it. You have nothing to lose. You have everything to gain. Meditation helps your alertness. It helps you to focus. Like I said, it helps you physiologically. It helps you spiritually. It helps you intuitively. These are just so many benefits that can't be taken for granted. There are actually countries, believe it or not, that have commissioned people who teach meditation to teach all of their citizens in that country meditation, because what has been found, even in California, and some schools in California, and they have a school here where they're teaching meditation, and other places around the country, is that it reduces behavioral issues. It reduces the anger and rage so many children come to school with. I was actually asked, and I'm working on a project now with DPS where we're teaching mindfulness in the schools because of the benefits that it has. So would be great if kids learn this early on, but it's never too late for us to just really get into the practice. So some common issues where people give up is that they say they can't turn the chatter off their mind. And like I said, that's fine. That's okay. You're going to have the thoughts come in. So when the thoughts come in, don't fight them. Don't fight the thoughts. Recognize the thought, acknowledge it, and let it pass. So imagine it just like something, a ship passing in the ocean, that thought. And then guess what? Another thought's going to come in. You let it pass. What eventually will happen is that you're going to squeeze out the space. So it'll be more space in between those thoughts over time. In the beginning, it's going to be like thoughts coming a mile a minute because our minds have been conditioned to just go, 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 go. But the more you do it, the more you practice, more and more space is going to come between those thoughts. I want to just give you guys this, analogy in a sense. Conscious awareness, or just being aware and plugged into our world and our universe, is our natural state of being. All these thoughts that race in our mind, that's not our natural state of being, but we've made it that way. We've made it that way. Thinking is supposed to be just for creating strategy or making plans in life. That's it. Strategy and plans. But we've turned thinking into a monster. And so we're driving to work thinking about what someone said to you yesterday, what you should have said back, thinking about what if you're not able to pay the mortgage next month, thinking about the kids and worrying about the husband or the wife or the significant other or whoever that may be. And so our minds are constantly racing. And that's not what thinking was intended for. So even in your commute, if you haven't made your commute this morning or your commute home, I want you to think about just not thinking, but being aware of your surroundings, being mindful, looking at billboards, looking at the colors of cars that pass you. Get your mind in the habit of just stepping away from the pathological thinking that has created so much just really disease in our society today. So a few helpful hints in sustaining your meditation practice: sit every day, even if it's for a short period of time. Even if you're going to work and in the parking structure, you just take 2 minutes before going into the office. It may be helpful to sign up for a retreat, maybe a one-day retreat to learn meditation or seminar. And that's something I'm considering doing, and I'll keep you guys abreast of that if you may be interested in coming and learning more about it. And if you miss a day, if you miss a week, if you miss a month of meditation, that's okay. Begin again. Just start. Don't quit quitting. Just keep going and keep up with the practice. And if you need guidance or help, there are a lot of experienced meditators that you can find that will be willing, and they love to train other people, because people who meditate love to be in the company of others who meditate, because there's an understanding of just how much benefit we get from that and how much more it can make our lives just successful and fulfilling and reduce the stress and anxiety that plagues so many of us. So hopefully, guys, this information has been great for you. thank you for joining me this morning, because it says something about you guys when you're willing to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and some people in other time zones earlier, to gain information that's going to help take you to the next level. Because as I always say, we all deserve to just live our lives to the fullest and live this life in full bloom. So thanks again, guys. Have a terrific day, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.